September 20th, 2009. VGN Radio presents Midwest Wasteland with your hosts, Kevin Baird,
Brian Baird,
Don Cease,
and Larry Mack.
Tonight's topic, diet.
What was that?
Ebenezer
Split
Scrooge.
my wrist tonight.
Rest in my
What?
grave.
What?
I have to be
Bronze
honest.
lost horribly. Suicide. Suicide is painless.
It is. But it
There's
brings
many
on many
things.
changes.
So tonight,
To my
Don Anderson will be joining us from the car with children in the car.
Hey guys, it's
That'll be good.
as he drives back to
The car just
Columbus. Because he was up here. We saw him momentarily yesterday as he worked us over in CNET on the Xbox 360. And Don Cease actually scored an all-time high at that game, so that was interesting. And Jason Corbett will also be joining us tonight at some point. Maybe this show, maybe Cleveland Sports Radio. We're not sure. So we're going to go with what we got right now. So, all right, tonight we're going to talk a little bit about diet. And like all the Midwest Wastelands, we're going to talk about childhood first.
child abuse. What?
Childhood.
Oh,
Yeah,
oh,
it was challenging.
yeah. I needed to die when I was a child. I did too. I was a fat little fucker.
So, Brian, when you, so I'll start with you since you're the oldest member of the show besides myself.
I'm not.
Man,
When you were a young kid, could you tell us what was the dietary intake like? Like, did you sit around the table and eat?
You were there.
Well,
Our mom is from Germany, and
String
she's old school.
peas.
Now, you would think that our mom would be like, she's a pastry chef, so, you'd get some scrumdiddlyicious, like the houses, it looked like the gingerbread house. You go in there, there's cakes and cookies and birds singing and bullshit like that, but no. My mom would come home, as you know, Kevin, and for those who don't, she didn't want to cook fucking sweets. She did it all day, and I understand. I'm a truck driver. When I come home, I don't want to sit in my living room and drive a truck. So, I completely fucking get the mindset behind that. So the thing about it is that she's German, and she come from a German family, and she's used to eating whatever fucking glockenspiel fucking mess that they could cobble together to fucking keep from, like, killing rats and eating them.
So they had some.
So my diet can.
Cali
I'm not saying that
sausage or
I did. We had a healthy, well-rounded diet of extremely odd food. You never knew what the fuck you were going to get. And
goats
my
and
mom,
ads and shit.
dude, you just didn't know. Like she'd make like goulash, which is delicious. I don't know anybody that doesn't fucking like goulash. Goulash is great. You'll eat the fuck out of that shit, right? Which, as we call it here in America, spaghetti and meat and noodles. But then, like, you would get like some sort of like weird pumpkin squash vegetable mixture that even our father would just look at my mom and he's like, all right, look,
Seriously?
okay, did you pull this out of the fucking like family circle cooking guide? I mean, for God's sake, who's going to eat this? So now my dad, of course, being my father, could just like go into a rage and leave the dinner table. Kevin and I had no such luck. We would have to feed the food to the dog under the table and hope the dog didn't fucking like shit right there, Because then my mom would look on the table and see food with fucking dog poop.
I have no recollection of this woman you call mother.
Well, I do. You and I sat on a church pew because we had a church pew because my dad got like some church was being decommissioned, and my parents thought, hey, look, we can use that as a bench in our house. It's a church pew, so we were going to hell for lying all the time about. Did you eat your food, kids?
Now, would you say that your food intake was restricted? Like, could you walk into the kitchen and help yourself to a piece of cake or a cookie as a kid?
Oh no. You could sneak it. That's how come you and I are such great thieves. You could go into the kitchen and cookies, because mom didn't count the cookies unless she was in a particularly fucking vindictive mood. You could probably get away with sneaking one or two. Okay, but cake had to be served to you. Because God help you, if mom came in the room, saw you standing on a chair over the cake thing with one of those big goddamn knives of hers, that was it. She would kill you. She would pull out the wooden spoon and apply it to your ass in a very fucking rapid motion.
Yet you were plump when you were a kid. That's a good word for it.
No. I was plump when I hit 12, but up to that point. That's when mom left dad, I porked up.
Okay.
Before that, dude, I was skinny. There's pictures of me.
All right. So you would say that when mom and dad, before 12...
Yeah, dad was not a cuisine
you were,
specialist. We're going to eat this because it's either this or we die.
You were a thin kid.
Yeah, we had silly chili and shit like that when dad was cooking.
Okay. Larry, what was your early childhood like as far as your dietary and how did you eat it? Did you eat around the table with the folks? How'd that work?
Rarely. Well, actually, I take that back. We were the occasional dinner around the table family. Sometimes.
What did you do?
The rest of the times it was just in front of the TV.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know. Lots of pastas, lots of big fattening foods, lots of because it was.
Did your mom cook?
Well, my parents got divorced when I was 8.
Oh, okay.
So after that, it was my dad, and he so made for late dinners. So it was a lot of really quick stuff. The good news is, one of my dad's hobbies was cooking. He likes to cook. So every so often he would experiment. So we got a nice mix for for the stereotypical single parent deal. But it was a whole lot of pastas, whole lot of kind of quick and easy stuff. Just because by the time we got home, my sister and I were usually like, "Dad, we're dying."
So, would you say you were in? How were you? Were you fat, thin as a kid? You're a kid.
You were a little monster.
Yeah. Well, there are kids that are fat when they're young.
I was never what I would call.
There's a clip of me in the Inquirer,
but
right next to the dog boy.
It wasn't until my later life that I got morbidly obese.
So you would say your diet then was okay as a kid.
Cuisine
Were you able to just go and eat whatever you wanted?
Yeah.
So you could go in the kitchen, just mow down like a whole cake or something. Nobody would wig out on your ass or nothing.
Yeah.
Okay, that's interesting. Cease?
Yeah, Kevin should remember some of the crazy crap. If you guys ever seen Better Off Dead with the mom, always cooking up these squid-like things crawling around and shit. Yeah, that's what my that's what my mother's cooking was like. A lot of the times it was some kind of meat thing with some kind of potato side, and we all ate together. And the old man yelled at us, and he'd be making noises for the salt, he'd be huh. He'd be pointing at shit. This huge freaking table, And all you see is food everywhere, and he's you're supposed to figure out what the fuck he wanted, By the time he figured it out, you wanted to throw it at him, and it
should be bad.
As for going to get eat anything you want, no. My house was like a Gestapo. You had the tray would be slid underneath the door. You only had certain times to eat. And most of the time, we weren't allowed to stay in the house anyways. I wasn't supposed to be seen. So, the only time we ate was pretty much dinner and eat a bowl of cereal in the morning and get the hell out for the whole day. So that pretty much was my childhood there.
Speaking of cereal really quick, for those of you who are in, Boo Berry cereal is out for the season. You can get your hands on some classic Boo Berry cereal.
Yeah, you can always buy Boo Berry at Mark's, just so you know.
Okay, but it's because they buy it in bulk. So that when it's August, you're getting last October.
Oh, whatever. They have expiration dates. Anyway, Brian, would you say then that now this is before we live with Dad? So Joe's mom. Would you say that did you ever get fast food?
We got pizza occasionally, but it was really rarely. I think it's because Mom hated fast food, and the fact that we were so broke. Fast food costs money. Ergo, we're not buying fucking fast food. Mom's always been against fast food, which I think is really weird, except for pizza, because that's American. And we would occasionally go to Burger Chef.
Chef.
Yeah, Burger Chef, we would go there because the burgers were horrible, but the toys were godlike. So, and once, I do remember my mom taking me to Burger King. The memory is still fucking burned in there because it was raining and the Beatles were on the radio playing All the Lonely People. And I had my burger. I'm like, this is fucking depressing. I didn't say the word fuck. I think it was 9 or whatever, but I was like, Christ.
What about other restaurants?
We would go to a Chinese food restaurant. I just remembered that. We went to a Chinese food restaurant. I don't know, every so often, okay? And, because you're in a Chinese food place, and now you're talking about when Mom and Dad were happily married.
Right.
Not later when we would go there. And
well, up until you were 12, so whenever you want to go.
Well, I mean, there was differences. When they were first going, it was a fun time. Later, it was Mom would just look at you and she'd be like, Brian, how was your report card? And then Dad would put his fingers over his eyes and be like, Like he's getting mad, and I'm like, why is this about me now? Leave me alone. I'm gonna get beaten. Fuck! What the hell did I do? I'm just here, goddamn. And we would always order Chinese food. Okay, Mom and Dad would order Chinese food, and I would just be like, okay, whatever. And then I'd go to Kevin, and what do you want? And Kevin was like, I want a cheeseburger. Fucking Chinese food restaurant, and they would always come down and Kevin like, you can't have a cheeseburger. And the waiter's like, oh no, we have cheeseburger. You can have cheeseburger. And Kevin's like, I want cheeseburger. You know.
I have no memory of this Chinese restaurant.
I know you were very, very young, but you just refused. Dude. It's like you said, I want a cheeseburger. There's nothing wrong. There's a cute little memory. It's not like I don't want to eat with these gooks around me. Okay, that would be all right. That would be out of line.
Nice.
You know, you would have been beaten horribly. But yeah.
So you went out to eat often?
We used to get no, dude. These are like memories. We hardly went out.
Okay. I vaguely remember a place that had train tracks that went up into the air or something. And I remember, it was like a monument in front of the building, and there was like these. It was like a train car was there.
Oh my god, I fucking remember that.
Yeah,
now.
and there was train tracks going up into the air. Are you talking like
Michigan?
Yeah.
Yeah, dude.
Right.
Who knows what the fuck we were eating there? Could have been Denny's for all I know.
I have no idea.
I don't think
what
we
that
went to Denny's. So.
Larry, fast food.
When I was a kid, the only thing I really remember is that after my parents got divorced, like every Sunday morning, my dad and my sister and I would walk down to McDonald's for breakfast, to get the hot cakes and sausage and shit. And the one they every so often they would do the all-you-can-eat, the hot cakes. And it's one of those things where when you're a kid, you're like, you know what? That's a great memory from my childhood. And I realized one day I was driving through the old neighborhood. How the hell me and my sister and my dad walked the like 30 blocks that it was to this McDonald's and thought it was like fun at the time? Because I was like, I forgot it was this far to the McDonald's. I couldn't make this walk today. I'd fucking die. But, and I mean, we would do the occasional like Friday order a pizza or whatever. It wasn't a big thing with us because back in the olden days when I was a kid, the fast food joints weren't as prolific as they are now. I lived in sort of a residential area, and that 30 blocks to that McDonald's was pretty much the closest joint. So now. Brian's story did kind of remind me of my younger daughter, Lizzie. No matter where we go, it could be a Chinese restaurant, it can be an Italian joint, it could be Red Lobster, chicken nuggets and French fries. That's all she wants. You want some pizza? I want chicken nuggets and French fries. Okay, well, it's Chuck E. Cheese's pizza. I want chicken nuggets and French fries.
I want Chuck E. chicken nuggets.
We will not discuss chicken nuggets. Or I vomited into my hat.
Oh my god.
That was a good time.
You ate a bunch of chicken nuggets and threw up, Brian?
I had those 20-piece chicken nuggets. This was years ago when Jody was driving her old truck.
Yeah, Jody's new truck. I was like, I'll go to her own. Jody just gave him the look, and Brian just got all sheepish and took off his hat and threw up in that.
That's not what happened.
That's exactly what happened.
She might have given me the look. I said, no, because I was drunk, and I'm like, pull over.
Yeah, you're like, pull over. And she's like, I can't get over. You're like, I'm going to puke. And she gave you that look like,
yeah,
well, maybe
I don't remember.
But it's not going to be in my truck.
Yeah.
And that's when you took off your hat and you're like, bleh.
I still have the hat. It's a good hat. Just watched it a few times, so there's a few pink spots. It's okay.
Okay.
So, I don't eat that shit anymore.
So
every time I look at chicken nuggets, I'm like, it looks like it'll be good, but I know what happened last time.
Fast food?
Yeah, my family is pretty good big on that shit. So yeah, I learned how to read by figuring out what signs were what. I'd be like McDonald's, Burger King, and all that shit.
Like, shut up!
And, like fucking, Christ, we at least twice a week because my mom was working and she did everything in the house on top of it. So she'd be like, "Fuck that, we're having fast food." I'm like, "Yes," and it was like a carnival to me, because compared to the shit she was dragging out the other days, it was heaven. So it's like we'd have like 7 days of fucking old spaghetti, and all of a sudden Burger King comes in and it's like, hello, it's food. and once in a while we'd head out to like Sambo's, if you remember Sambo's restaurant. I'd love going there with the little plastic toys and shit. Yeah, it was. Wasn't it Denny's or afterwards or something? I can't remember.
I don't know.
And shit, oh jeez, I can't think of the name of that one. The fish one, Arthur Treacher's. Yeah, we hit them all. Basically everything you can name.
I vaguely
the
remember,
barn, everything.
I remember going over Don's house. This is a little bit later than 12, but not much. And I remember his dad saying, telling somebody to go to Wendy's, like his sister or something. And he's like, and I want a multi-grain bun. And if I don't get a multi-grain bun, I'm going to make you take it back.
I was 16. I was driving. I had to go get it.
Oh, was that you? Oh, that was funny.
Me and my fucking sister. I think you were in there, too.
Yeah, I was there.
And I'm like, holy hell, you're not going to make me do this. He's like, God damn it. I'm like, I'm going to sound like an old dude. No way, I'm not doing it. He's like, you're going to do it. I'm like, oh. So I drive through the drive-through, and I'm like, I had to order like a double cheese with everything on it. And I'm like, and a multi-grain. But I heard fucking laughing on the other side, I'm like, God.
Faggot.
What? What? We don't have those. I'm like, he wants one.
Just go to the grocery store and buy one, man.
So, Cease, would you say when you were a kid you were heavy?
No, I wasn't heavy.
Skinny?
I always worked my ass off, so I was always skinny.
So diet, you felt you ate fairly well?
Yeah, not bad.
Nutrition?
Okay. Yeah, not bad.
Okay. At restaurants? Did you go to any restaurants?
Yeah, not, most of the time when we went out, it's like fast food. We would go to like Pizza Hut and sit in there when it was actually decent to sit inside one of those. But, nah. For the most part, we didn't hit the big time restaurant. Like once a year, you'd hit like a real nice, classy one, and just the whole family would be there, and it was a good time. We went to like Pier W out in Westlake and shit, and that was cool. So once in a while, it'd be like, I don't know why, like we'd have some windfall of money or something. I don't know, somebody died in the family. I don't know what it was, but
I have vague memories, and since I was younger and Brian, his 12 isn't my 12, obviously, but I do remember that our dad used to go to these bowling nights, and this is why we're still in Michigan, and so every Friday or something, he would bring us home Burger Chef, and Brian wasn't a big fan of the Burger Chef meal, and I don't think my dad was either.
The toys were cool.
But I like the toys, and it later became a thing where my dad and my brother both wanted Burger King, and I just really wasn't into Burger King. I think they give you like a lollipop. That was always like the shit prize, like you get the fucking the kids meal and
you
stuff.
felt like you got robbed,
and you get the fucking.
You knew you were going to get that food again for like another 6 months. It's like no,
yeah, the shit lollipop. So eventually, then it just turned into more burger. But that was about it as far as like that is concerned. I remember Mom's cooking. But now, Don's parents never got divorced. But let me ask you a question, Cease. When your mom cooked, did your dad ever cook?
Hell no.
No?
I mean, he does now, but like the grill and shit like that. He never did a goddamn thing back then when it came to the house. Not a damn thing.
He was a fucking drunk. He never did a goddamn thing. He just laid on the couch.
Pretty much. No, he just sat in his, layback
his
chair.
Recliner.
Just fucking, recliner, and just yelled at everybody. That's what he did.
Bring me a fucking beer. I'm watching the game.
I'm telling you, if you ever seen Archie Bunker, that was him. That was him. All he did was yell everything.
Okay, well,
I do remember going to McDonald's and remember having all those plastic characters being there in a great big ship inside the McDonald's.
Yeah.
Like, wow. I think get that
back when you used to get those cool, like, spy prizes, the fake watch you could, stash shit in, and
the plastic Burger King fucking hand puppet. Remember that thing?
Oh, yeah.
It's a bag.
Yeah, the bag with the picture of the Burger King on it.
I used to get like
I think I still have like a stuffed Burger King around here someplace.
Burger King had the worst prices. You'd get the stupid plastic bag hand puppet, or you'd get the dumb crown that you'd cut out.
Yeah.
Hey, that crown's cool.
The crown's awesome.
Hey, it wasn't cool.
I still go specifically for the crowns.
Yeah, you get nice and shit-faced. And you're just
Yeah.
like,
It's like when you were eating a
You
box
show
of...
up all drunk at the bar to check out some like Iron Maiden cover
my
band. You got
God,
your
no.
Burger King crown on and your
Every
bottle of
sugar.
Mad Dog.
it's also
I mean,
really
it would work at Manowar, you know.
Yeah,
Crawling in the ring.
It goes over great with Manowar.
Yeah, you got your denim vest and the weightlifting gloves and the Burger King fucking crown.
That's and if Ric Flair is in at that time, it's also helpful.
It's like getting a box of Cracker Jack, and then when you get the toy prize, it's just a joke inside.
Oh,
Like
yeah.
it's like it's just like
The
a
guy
dumb.
next to's got the prism. He's staring at the sun. Like, oh, I see a lot of suns. I'm blind. I can't see that.
Yeah, or the fucking numbered box, you know, you're flicking around trying to get them in the row.
God,
and shit.
that thing was like, yeah, because it would never slide.
fucking snap
Your
apart.
fucking thumbs would be the size of fucking sledgehammers. Like, motherfucker, you're gonna move. Hey, dumbass, they glue that shit. Do they?
Now, Brian, when you went to elementary school,
Yes.
did you had just your basic lunch at that point? Was
I don't
it-
fucking
or
remember,
did you
dude.
brown bag it?
I just remember they gave me a milk, and I didn't like that shit. I don't want to eat milk. Not a
I
brown
remember
bag.
having a lunchbox that I was very fond of.
I think they used to like feed us, but God knows, dude. I mean, it was so long. I just remember they give you milk, and it was fucking always half warm. I'm like, I'm not eating the shit.
All right,
Like
that's-
somebody
shit like
sat
that.
on it. Yeah.
Larry, what was the school lunch like that when you were a kid? Do you remember?
Salisbury fucking steak,
Yeah,
baby.
that was godlike.
Now,
That was fucking the shit.
Did you-
And sometimes
And
you get the
uncooked
little fucking peanut butter with the chocolate on the top. That little brownie thing.
Oh
Mwah.
yeah, I remember that.
Those things were fucking awesome too. But then, yeah, there was the nasty little carton of milk that A, you had to fucking murder to get open, and B, while you were drinking it, you'd always get like bits of cardboard in your mouth because you had to shred it to get it fucking open.
There was nothing worse than when you had the milk and you like did that little split to open it up and then you like
It
try to push it
exploded.
back and the paper just tears and it's still closed. You're like fuck.
That's so goddamn true.
you try the other side at that
pencil
point.
Yeah, you wind up tearing it apart with your
Yeah, the
fork.
pencil. And you're like, don't drink it, you'll get lead poisoning.
Yeah.
And you're like, okay.
Yeah, you try the other side, it doesn't work, and then you just have this mutated carton that you're trying to like drink milk out of and shit.
Dribble milk into your mouth.
Yeah,
You're like dying of thirst.
Yeah, you get that one tiny hole, just kind of squeeze it and dribble it.
It's just like loose paper connected to it. It's like flesh or something just hanging there while you're trying to get the milk
Flesh
out.
flickering your tongue as you're fucking
Gross.
drinking it.
Okay, so yeah, that's all. Yeah, I barely remember. I do know that we were on lunch tickets once we moved up to Ohio, and the old man lost his job, so it was basically free lunch when we went there, which was somewhat depressing because other kids always had like Twinkies and ho-hos and
Yeah, there's always the kids that
fucking
came in
ice
there with like the big
cream
fucking
and
lunchbox. You know,
Yeah, we
I never
had
had a
lunch tokens since I was in Catholic school, so we could buy everything there. But whenever there was the gross shit, we would pack, and I'd bust out the Space 1999 lunchbox or the GI Joe lunchbox. Had to get my new lunchbox every year that I would use about 4 times because I made you a peanut butter and jelly sandwich, but it Salisbury steak today.
oh yeah,
dude, we never got like hostess
Oh.
nothing. And if I had a Twinkie or a ho-ho, it was at a friend's house, and they would just throw it to you like you were an animal. You know.
don't get too close.
Fucking true. So, okay, well, let's move on to teenage years then. Brian, once you became a teenager, did your dietary habits change?
Oh yeah, hell yeah.
How so?
Because our dad remarried. After first when we met, I was a little porky fucker. I admit, I have no problem admitting that because I'm one now. 'Cause I'm not little.
Sorry.
Yeah, I was like, oh my god, what a nightmare. So yeah, and he met my stepmother, and they decided to combine families, which then made the family total 9. And they decided that it would be a very good idea that if we took all 9 people and put them in the same house and tried to feed them all the time. And needless to say, as we both know, it didn't work. So half the time, I remember we had like one fucking Christmas where the Christmas turkey for a week was our main staple. And I'm like, by Friday, I'm like, what,
Yeah, I remember that.
we got to crack the bones and suck the marrow out? I'm like, we're going to convenience and stealing food. It was fucking horrible.
Okay.
So yeah, I lost a fucking load of weight in that time. It
You
was
guys
good.
are fucking bone ass thin. I remember going.
I was
There was
especially.
never anything to eat there ever.
I was
Sugar
I was
Kool-Aid.
extremely thin as a kid.
You have Kool-Aid packets, not a goddamn shred of sugar in a motherfucker. The motherfuckers are so sad. He'd go over there and drink fucking like lemon juice out of those little fake lemons, and be like, "Oh my god, dude, really? It's got flavor." I'm like, "Holy shit!"
Looking at you with big.
Come over our house. It's like we have this big fucking dinner and shit. He'd be like looking at everybody. It's like, "Am I allowed to eat this?" Yeah, go ahead. Fuck,
I always found it a little bit weird going over Cease's house because like they would get fast food and they would get it for the guests too. Like they would get me something and like Cease would be like, "What do you want?" and stuff. And I'd be like, "I don't know."
Crack open the door and it's like full of food.
I have
a cheeseburger.
I have no idea. What do they have?
I know.
No clue what the hell to even get. So okay. So Brian, would you say that your diet got worse?
Yeah, because we'd eat anything. You look at the fucking. Remember when when the cats had that operation and they were all walking around all shaved? At one point I'm looking at them going, they're really going to miss this cat. It's old. I could take it out in the garage.
I don't know. He must have gotten out.
I could grab a brick and smash his head in, and I could put it in the fucking oven whenever he's gone.
Still got
So like, did you burn hot dogs?
I remember our brother Joey would get some of this K-Rose syrup out of the cupboard, and he would pour it into a frying pan, and he would reduce it so it turned into like a hard candy, and then he would sit around and he would suck on that, sitting on the couch. Honest to God, no bullshit.
It's true, dude. It's true.
That's the extreme.
Oh my god! Put like a little stick in there, fucking pull it out.
Yeah, it was
pretty bad.
It was crazy at times. At other times, I mean, it wasn't.
Dude, homemade treats aren't bad though, because you can do that thing where you put the fucking Kool-Aid in the freezer with the toothpicks.
Yeah, dude.
When you walk in a room and you see somebody fucking sitting there and they're like just eating mayonnaise with a spoon, all right, you're fucking starving.
There was like a time where the dehydrated milk cost less than the the regular milk, and so what they would do is they would not pour out, but once the milk was emptied in the milk carton, then they would trick us by making
fake milk,
dehydrated milk in the carton itself, and then put it back in the refrigerator.
You wouldn't notice it at first.
Shit ever.
You would kind of notice when you had like a bowl of cereal and stuff, because you'd be like, "This is not good."
The cereal
because
actually
if you
had
like
less
grape
taste in it than a fucking.
Dude, if you had grape notes, that shit turned to fucking Bondo like in about a fucking minute. It was horrible, man. You're like, why is this so fucking terrible?
And we never had any kind of like sugary cereal. It was always cornflakes.
There was like fucking 7 kids in the house. I wouldn't have given them sugary cereal either. Like, you're getting nothing.
Cornflakes, Rice Krispies.
Yeah, that's all we had.
Shredded wheat, the regular kind, not with the frosting. And like plain Cheerios.
Plain.
Yes.
Cheerios.
It was fucking, awful. Just gross after a while. Like
if you had any, like we would get like
those were like
Pepsi
ingredients
in like the big glass bottles. For some odd reason, we always had Pep.
We always had pop.
And the big glass bottles, and it was just because they had those caps. And if you spell like Diet Pepsi or whatever, or Coca-Cola or whatever the fuck they were, you'd win something huge, which of course nobody ever fucking won because we'd always lose caps or whatever. And it was like so. Of course,
because they only printed like one E.
It was just fucking terrible, man. So it's just you'd drink that shit down, but it's like if you had, because you'd figure that would make you crazy, but you have to understand in Michigan we grew up with fucking red goddamn Faygo pop, okay? And I mean, you drink that shit as your childhood goes by, and somebody hands you a Pepsi, you're like, what's this, water?
Now, when you were working
a tab,
as a teenager,
there was plenty of that shit too.
I'm still stuck on Brian as a teenager here, but we'll move on here soon. But Brian, as a teenager, when you started working, did you take money out of your check to go buy yourself like fast food?
Well, the first job I had, I was working at that donut joint, so no.
So you never went anywhere and got
where the fuck was I going to go?
Well, Wendy's was close by.
Okay, I'd get a check, and then somehow that money would just always get sucked away into somebody else's foolery, so I'm like, all right, fucking whatever, you know. And so I'd get you the donuts, and then the next job I had in high school, I worked at Taco Bell. Needless to say, I never had to worry about eating there. it was all food jobs. So I'm just like, fuck, I'm going to eat, My sis went crazy, but, when you're that age, who cares?
And then you eventually joined the Navy. So we'll talk about that in a minute. All right, Larry, how was your teenage year diet habits, whatever?
Largely the same, with the exception of on those rare occasions when I had money, I could, when I was at St. Ignatius, I could go across the street to Wendy's or hit the hot dog guy for some hot dogs at lunch. But school was other than that, it was the same mix of, whatever they were serving, or bag lunches, and it wasn't until my later high school years that I started working. And my first job was at a grocery store. So, my break usually consisted of me saying, ooh, I got a paycheck, so why don't I buy one of these cool Stouffer's dinners? I can take it upstairs, heat it in the microwave, and I'll have this box of donuts with it, and that'll be lunch. So, yeah, that's pretty much where it started to go downhill.
A box of donuts is always hard to resist, though.
Yeah, you get it's like, they got the fucking chocolate ones.
Yeah.
And they just came in today.
God help me if it's Krispy Kremes. You're just like, oh my God. You start crying. You don't even want to eat it. You're like, I don't want to eat it, but I have to. No.
Did you work in your teens?
Yes. When I hit about 16, 17, 15, 16, I got my first job. And actually the other thing was, since it was at the grocery store, I believe that's what got me into trouble with those friggin' boxes of the Entenmann's chocolate chip cookies, which are like fucking crack.
Yeah.
So you were buying yourself food.
Donuts with the rabbit turds on them are the best.
So you would say you were buying yourself food to eat?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
I was hungry, but
bad food, basically.
Oh yeah. Very rarely at lunchtime did I say, I'm going to grab myself a nice salad and go upstairs.
Fuck yeah, never.
It was either the salad or the box of Entenmann chocolate chip cookies. Salad got its ass kicked.
I forgot to ask Brian this question, but I'll ask both of you guys. During your teenage years, did either of you concern yourself with like health at all when it came to food eating?
No,
okay.
Not even a little.
Okay,
yeah, what's that?
Okay, Cease, what was the teenage years like?
Teenage years at this time, my mother was full time, and we pretty much cooked for ourselves and all this other shit. So dinners were kind of lame attempt at dinners. When I went to like high school and everything, I don't know what the hell it was. I was in some major growth spurt, so I was eating like 2 lunches every fucking lunchtime. So by the end of the week, they only give me so much money. So by the end of the week, I'd be like starving because I was out of lunch money. And then when I started working, it was mostly, we never had any kind of like candy or anything in the house. So it was like big time chocolate and any kind of like hostess shit. Not that I was like gorging on her or anything, because but the fact that I had to pay for gas and everything else, I never had. It was either anytime I could get to the fast food place, it was like my outlet. Yeah, so that was my biggest downfall right there. And I was pretty active, so at that time it didn't really. I didn't think about any kind of health problems with it, and so far I still ain't. So
okay. Teenage years. I remember when I worked at the grocery store, and I would go to Dairy Queen and eat before I came home because my dad lived by himself at this point, and he would have like meat pies in the fridge. In the freezer,
like the brazier Dairy Queen, so you get like hamburgers and shit
right,
too.
Yeah,
sometimes those are pretty fucking good, man.
Right, and they had like the all-American meal deal at the time, where you get like a sundae and a burger and fries and stuff, and it was like, I forget, it's like $2 for all that or something, really ridiculously cheap. And so, but my dad would have meat pies, and then sometimes the meat pies were too expensive if they had the whole crust, so we'd get the ones that just had like the top crust.
You could fucking turn it upside down in your fucking plate, and it would just like, just go all over. You're like, son of a bitch.
I had those strange little meat cubes inside of them that were spongy, that you didn't quite know what you were eating. So, he'd have
frozen burritos.
He'd have yogurt. For some reason, my dad liked yogurt, so there would be like some yogurt, and there would be like he'd make stuff like macaroni and cheese with a hot dog cut up in it and stuff. But
spaghetti. You guys always had spaghetti.
Yeah, there's spaghetti and stuff.
Oh,
that's a good size.
But you want to, the guy was broke all the fucking time, man. It wasn't like he might get pizza, but it would be like it would be so rare because he never had any money. So, I would
have pepperoni on it.
Wait, what's wrong with the mac and cheese with the hot dogs and the spaghetti? That's basically all my daughters get when they're with me.
No, nothing. But there's
That's
a
like
point,
the food of kings.
There's a point where you want what other people eat, and you see the commercials on TV where everyone's enjoying the luxurious fast food meal, and you're like, I want that too. So,
because if people sat down, like you'd be at lunch in school and shit, and like somebody would sit down and open up like a little fucking hobby kit. It was like the thing was like, and then take out little fucking portions of food. You're sitting there with your fucking whatever the hell the glop of the fucking day is, the high school shoveled out. You're like, what is that? Looking longingly at whatever the fuck they brought, which is much yummier looking than whatever the fuck you had to choke down. But you had to eat it because God knows when you're going to eat next.
I mean, the thing is that as a kid, you eat over a lot of people's houses. You go over friends' houses, you go over to relatives, you go over, like, neighbors' houses, whatever, and you're always eating dinner or something at their house. And the reality of it is that as far as these home-cooked meals go, most people can't cook. They can't cook worth a shit. And the food that they make is like, you eat it, but it's not like you walk out of there and you're like, well, I can't wait. I cannot wait to go back to their house. That was so delicious. It never happened.
It's not just as a kid. I mean, as a shiftless hobo, I still get a good portion of my meals at other people's homes.
Okay, well, you might. I'm not purposely forced to like fraternize with people anymore.
Knocking on my friends' doors. Do you guys need any furniture moved or anything? I haven't eaten in 3 days.
It's also like as an adult,
let's watch them starve to
death. You can say no to things too. You're like, do you want the creamed cabbage? No. That's all right.
Is that why you're so critical about that pizza I was picking there, Larry?
What?
Is that why you're so critical about my choice of pizza? God damn, he only gets one chance for pizza. He only picks 2 items, fucking asshole.
No, that was because everyone's like, pepperoni's fine. Can we get sausage? Sure. Then Dad's like, I want the sausage, pineapple, bacon, green pepper, jalapenos.
I never said that.
So Kevin orders that, and then Don eats all the fucking pepperoni. So I go to get a piece of pizza, and all that's left is the fucking bullshit pizza that Don wanted.
Well,
What can I say? I got a good taste.
Yeah.
He follows the group mindset in some things, and then other things he rebels against them, and that's how it works with pizza.
Yeah, he's willing to go outside the norm enough to order it, but not really eat it.
Right. Okay, so
Can't help it. The grease pockets look better than mine.
I would say that the only thing I was concerned about as a kid, health-wise, was that I was too thin. I was 6'3" and 180 pounds, and today I'd be happy with being that thin.
Yeah, I wasn't worried about that. I was 5'3" at 180 pounds.
Yeah, but it was a problem. So, but the thing is I was working since like 14 and working my ass off all the time. So there's just no way. I mean, there's just no way I was going to gain any weight.
He was like Mr. Body. You can pretty much see all his fucking innards.
See my heart beating through my chest. My lungs are working. Why isn't that other one working? Don't need it right now. So
you're weird. Yes.
So Brian, as you went into your 20s,
we just skipped the Navy altogether, right?
No. Well, you can go.
Who's heading into your 20s?
Look, the Navy. Fine. Okay. Why don't you tell us about Navy food? Go ahead.
Okay. Well, the Army, believe it or not, and I'm sure I'll get some grief from fucking Larry on it. The Army was actually voted out of all the militaries have like the best food. Don't ask me why.
The food in the Army was great. I was in Kentucky, so you had fucking cornbread with fucking everything, and right. no matter what the meal was, there was some sort of gravy involved.
Well, we didn't have that. The Navy, you ate whatever the fuck they gave you to eat. Okay, and that was it. It was like
fish.
You go in there, and you did have a choice on the different. Now that's when you're on base. Okay, if you're on base, there's a choice.
You had to kill your own monkey and skin
There's a
it for
salad
dinner.
bar. Yeah, dude, it gets trust me. So, like, you get a salad bar if you want on the base, and, they had the regular food, and, every base had, like a Pizza Hut or a McDonald's. So you could just go there, So, like, after boot camp, you come out, you're ripped. All right, and then you come out of boot camp and you're no longer fucking being yelled at to constantly work out. So you're not as ripped, but you're still like working out because you know that you have to, because otherwise, A, you're going to catch shit from everybody else around you, and B, they do test your fucking physical ability. And the worst, I can't imagine a worse horror than being drummed out of the military because you're too fucking out of shape.
Yeah.
That's just like, oh, couldn't stop eating the Twinkies, huh? Leave me alone.
Private Pile.
Yeah. Now on the ship.
It was the cornbread that did me in.
And the ship, it depends. Okay, like if you had breakfast, okay, it depends what kind of like cook you had. Okay, most of us are Filipinos, so like you get some like weird egg bullshit in the morning, and everybody would get the shit on the shingle. All right, because everybody wanted shit on the shingle for fucking breakfast because they made that and they made that well. Lunch. You got whatever it could be anything from like
The leftover shit on a shingle for breakfast.
Exactly, dude. It could be that, or it could be like hot dogs, or it could be like mystery meat mixed with rice. Everything had rice. There was rice in every fucking meal. Okay, somehow they incorporated fucking rice into everything. And then there was dinner, and dinner was pretty much the same thing as the lunch was, except a little bit different. And then you had mid-rats. That's if you worked the midnight shift on the ship, because it's 24/7. You're always doing midnight shift, and those guys got like their own cook, and that cook would just get up and he would make cover some parts of night, but didn't have to deal with it because night was a horror. Okay, and then just take care of the guys on the mid rats because he's like one guy and he had like one assistant, and that was it. And my ship had 500, and there was like 6 cooks, and like God knows how many fucking guys that got sent in there to fucking help him, like I did. So, you have one guy at night, and the mid-rats had the best goddamn food because that guy would just cook his ass off, So, like, you're like, dude, I'll do the midnight shift. And, if you were lucky and you had a shift that you had to do it all the time, then, you were just stuck on it. You knew you were going to eat right. But, occasionally, like, especially if you guys hadn't picked up supplies in a while, you're noticing that shit because you're looking at your food and you're like, is that green meat? What is that? Now, if you had to work in the kitchen, because everybody on the ship has to rotate around, you can't have the same helpers, peeling potatoes, washing dishes, and all that bullshit, you ate well, because they would always have food, and if you had time, because you usually were working your fucking ass off, you would fucking get whatever the fuck you wanted to eat, as long as the fucking the chief wouldn't see you. If he caught you eating, your ass was dead. So, and that was eating in the Navy.
Now, would you say that since you started working out and everything in the Navy that you became more health conscious of what you were eating, or no?
No.
Okay, so through your 20s, did you care about what you were eating?
When I got out of the Navy?
Yeah.
Not really. Not really. I was still in pretty decent shape. I was kind of exercising a bit. So
you never told yourself I need to go on a diet?
No, because I wasn't drinking yet. I was only 20 or 19, 20 when I got out, and yeah, I was like, fuck it, I'm still in pretty decent shape. Why worry about it, But I wasn't eating that much anyway. I was always on the go doing shit, so I didn't really, I was in pretty decent shape back then.
Well, but, okay, we're talking about your whole 20s, though.
Yeah.
So up until 29.
About my 20s.
You're saying...
Okay, then, I was able to drink. I put on a little weight after I was able to drink. And then I got married, and I slowed down a little bit, and I wasn't running around as much. But the thing was, like, when me and Lori were married, we were pretty concerned about our, being healthy. After we had our first kid, we're like, we probably should, concentrate on not being fat fuckers. And I was a cook at the time, and despite, most people think when you're a cook, they think you eat all the time. It's like, no, you're working all the time. So, the only time it got kind of, out of control is when I was working at Little Caesars, because we all get to make our own pizzas on the way home. So, every night I was coming home with a toxic pizza, which was great. You wanted to be fat, but nobody wanted to be fat. So,
Larry, what about you, man? Your 20s?
20s is when I made the jump to,
Shark.
Yeah. Yeah. I got out on my own, and, in my childhood, of course, food was always there. We could eat whatever we wanted, but, I was always out playing, riding my bike, whatever. And again... typically, although we could, roam the house freely at will and plunder the refrigerator, my dad made the meals, and that was sufficient. But once I was out of the house and in charge of making my own meals, unlike my dad, I do not like to cook. I hate to cook. I don't understand people who enjoy cooking, because when I want to eat, that means I want to eat now, not I want to eat in an hour after I'm done making it. So it fell into a whole lot of fast food, ready-make shit, and that's when I started losing control of the weight battle.
Was it a real fight, dude?
No, it wasn't. and in answer to Kevin's
I just want to make sure that the only guy who just like at one point is went,
in answer to Kevin's next question, no, I never cared. I would sit there, I would eat my horrible food, and it never bothered me in the least. I would sit there, fucking shoving bear claws down my throat on the couch, eating bonbons in front of the soap operas, and wouldn't bat an eyelash.
Cease?
20s, I never had a problem up until I got married and kind of settled down and got bored out of my fucking mind. So I started eating a lot.
Yeah,
and,
getting married ruins people.
Yeah, you can't go anywhere, can't do anything. I couldn't afford to ever really go anywhere, so we always had good food in the house. And the wife, she wasn't a bad cook either. So, and we just had some really good meals all the time. And,
yeah, cooking healthy.
Yeah, it was healthy, but I kind of doubled it up, so it wasn't really that healthy. I mean, we do chicken and all sorts of healthy stuff, but
chicken.
Goddamn, when you're eating 3 or 4 plates of it, it doesn't really help. So yeah, I kind of blew.
Go out and catch your own chicken. That'd be different.
Yeah. It wouldn't be like Rocky. Come on, Rocky! Ain't gonna happen.
You're up,
So Brian, have you ever been on a diet?
Oh hell yeah! Plenty of diets, dude. I'll never forget. This is back when Larry was married. We went over to his place for one of his gaming nights, and this was right after I got divorced. Okay, so I was drinking a lot because I was, okay, fuck my marriage.
You were sad.
And I'm happy I'm gone, right? But I was like, I'm free. I drink whatever I want. And I stepped on Larry's scale, and it said 257, and I was like, Jesus Christ! So fucking. I looked at Jody, and I think I had big boo-boo tears in my eyes. I'm like, I can't fucking about this, man. She's looking at me. She just nods. She's like, you didn't want to. It's like, I didn't want to be mean about it, but yeah, you are. I'm like, that's got to fucking end. So I fucking immediately went on a diet, joined a gym, started working out, and lost a lot of weight. And then I think I threw my back out. As I, of course, knew would happen, because when I start looking good, my body's like, no. There's not going to be any of that you fucking losing weight trying to look good bullshit. No. So, yeah, I immediately stopped fucking working out, and as soon as that happened, the weight came back on.
What'd you do when you dieted?
I mostly, number one, cut out all fast food, okay, which is hell, all right? But I cut out all fast food, and all the food that I would bring in the house, like now, it's like, I don't cook. Nobody cooks in this house except occasionally. Everything here comes out of a box or out of a can, because we just don't really have time. And I'm lazy. So, primarily, I just buy, I go to the grocery store, which I don't know if you guys have ever noticed this. Have you ever noticed, the health food costs way fucking more than the bullshit food? Like, hey, 10 burritos for $5. Or for $5, you can get a fucking meal that's about the size of your hand, from some fucking lean cuisine bullshit. Breast. I'm just like, man, fucking Christ, and yeah. So and then I try to eat how I'm eating, and then I've tried okay, maybe I need to break it up. So I eat once every hour. So I'll take celery with me, and every hour I'll eat a little piece of celery, and I'm like, okay, I'm keeping the metabolism going, and that kind of works. But I've noticed that the only thing that really works is if you get off your fat ass and actually exercise. Then you lose weight, which I just don't have any energy anymore for that shit.
Okay. So, Larry, ever been on a diet?
Yes, a bunch of them. In my later years, of course, under the sheer bulk, my knees and my back and everything else fell apart. And and I decided this is completely unacceptable. So I did some of the bullshit fake diets where, by diet it meant, I'll only eat 4 days out of the week, or I'm going to skip dinner and breakfast and shit like that.
It's not possible. You get a headache.
I know. But I did get into taking some of the supplements like the Metabolife and the Metabolite and the Ephedra, and some of those worked, some of those didn't.
For the brains out on Ephedra?
Actually, the Ephedra worked great for me. I was pissed when they banned it. Now, like, everybody at the time, when I first started this, was doing the Metabolife. I fucking lived in the bathroom when I tried that shit.
You smell like a goddamn
you
in the middle of the woods.
It smells awful, and you're sitting there pounding those pills, so your breath smells like that, and you're constantly shitting, so nobody wants to be around you anyway, so it doesn't matter if you look disgusting. But there was like a cheap generic one, like Metabolite. That shit worked great for me, although I think in addition to it being a diuretic, the big thing there was, you had to take it like an hour before you ate and do a bunch of other stuff. So it sort of makes you pay attention to when you're eating and forces you to regulate it that way. So I think the pills may have been secondary, but I did actually do a legitimate diet for a while. It was a deal where you were on the diet 6 days out of the week. 7th day you were off. But the 6 days that you were on, you were also working out. And I think I dropped about 35 pounds in like the first month. But then that got sidetracked because that was about when I got laid up with my appendix. And then I had a bunch of other shit, because I'm bipolar. I had a bunch of other stuff come up, so I no longer cared that I was fat and disgusting, and sort of lost the calling and went back to being fat and disgusting. So... fucker. So there you go.
Cease? Have you ever been on a diet?
Diets? Yeah, I've done Atkins, South Beach. There's
South
a fucking...
Beach? The hell is that?
I can't remember, but I know I took it because my wife at the time made me do it. Also, the worst one I ever did, the Atkins was bad because I was
South
so...
Beach, yeah.
I ate so much goddamn meat, I was like glossy all the time. I looked like a big grease bucket, But the worst one, we did this, it was some kind of soup, a soup diet. And it was like...
Poop soup.
God, I can't think of the name. Cabbage soup diet. Oh, my fucking God. That was the worst. I hate soup. And I hate cabbage, and it was the worst goddamn thing I ever had to do. But they said, you go a week, and you'll lose 15 pounds. And that's all you eat is this shit. Breakfast, dinner, and lunch, this fucking soup, And I'm like, God damn it. And she quit after like 2 days. I'm like, no, I'm going to fucking do this. I'm going to do this, all right? That's all I ate was that shit. And she's like, I can't believe you're doing it. I didn't weigh myself. And at the end of the week, I fucking go in there, not a fucking ounce. I didn't lose an ounce. I was going to kill the person that fucking wrote that son of a bitch. That was the last time I ever went on a diet. The only diet that really works is when you're flat fucking broke and you can't afford anything, and that's what I am on now. So I've lost 50 pounds.
Well, when you starve, you got nothing.
I noticed that most guys, when they get divorced and they don't have somebody to like kind of help them with the bills and shit, like when when he got divorced from Angel, he lost an assload of fucking weight.
Yeah, you just don't care as much. I mean, it's not on your mind. You keep yourself busier. So it's like food ain't like on the top of the list. But it's coming back around.
I lost Larry. Hold on, bring him back here.
I remember you were on that crazy diet where you were in your underwear holding that fucking newspaper and I had to take a picture of you. That was pretty gay, come to think about it.
What? You took a picture?
You like some chicken and rice.
That wasn't fucking a diet. That was a workout.
Oh, but why didn't you take a picture of
like a PX90 picture?
I wasn't in my fucking underwear.
You were.
What was that? It's in shorts.
You mean there was gay shit going on, dude?
A Speedo.
was in shorts. No, it was a fucking workout.
All right. Yeah, he was in like.
It was a
80s
before
shorts.
and after type of thing, but it never. See, the problem was. And,
Problem is the after never came around.
no, see, I was working out very dedicated. I had a solo flex, and I would use it all the time.
It was pretty crazy.
And then Brian ended up, like, my solo flex was in my living room, and it was in front of the TV, and it was fine for me. But then Brian had moved in, which meant Jody and Brian moved in. And so when I would come home from work and I had to work out, it was in front of Brian and Jody while they were fucking watching TV, which is impossible. You know, you can't do it. Brian's just cracking jokes and shit, fucking laughing.
Yeah, it was a fucker.
Fucking, you know, and you can't
awesome.
you can't do anything. So the whole thing just spun out of control at that point. I just couldn't work out anymore.
You grunt with the weight, he'd be like, "Oh!"
And if you've ever like,
I was a total fucker about it.
and if you've ever like lifted or weights or
Come on,
anything,
Arnold, pick that up.
if
What the
you
fuck?
don't stick with it, then you got to basically start all over again. And it's just like you just lose interest. You're just like, I'm not doing it anymore. It doesn't work. You know, I'm not losing
Just
any
give yourself
weight.
reasons not to fucking do it anymore. You're like,
You don't lose any weight on it.
It's been
Yeah.
almost
Oh,
2 weeks now.
And so I've tried different diets, and I did Atkins, and I lost a lot of weight on Atkins, but I got lightheaded, and it's just not practical. I have to have some bread. I like pizza. I like fucking eating a bun with my burger. I just can't fucking have just meat. You know, or meat and like a few green vegetables or so. I can't.
Dude, you used to come at me with that whole fucking, why does everything have to have butter crust? All the food has butter crust.
Yeah, it does. But I
Why
need
is
to eat
food
Taco
like that?
Bell once in a while, and you can't do it on Atkins. But Atkins does work, and I know why it works. And it's because, look, your body eats or uses two things to make you fat, right? It uses fat to make you fat, and it uses sugar and carbs to make you fat. And what's everything made out of? It's made out of sugar and carbs or fat. The only thing that is different is protein. And protein is mostly in meat. And your body your body fills you up on protein, and yet you don't, you know, so basically you don't get as fat. And the thing is that if you look at a burger, like a piece of meat, if you had a piece of, like let's say you had a big meatball, for instance, the calories in that big meatball aren't as bad as you think. But if you get one of those Otis Spunkmeyer muffins, those things are like 1,000 calories in one of those things.
But it doesn't say that. It's like 200 calories. It's like, compared to what?
So it's like refined foods are the enemy, but they're delicious. I can't fucking stop eating them, okay? I can't. So
There's a reason they refined them that way.
So I went on. I lost a lot of weight, and I lost a lot of weight recently as well as before. But it's still a battle. Is by restricting my calories intake. Basically, it just comes down to the fact that, like, you know, like a tablespoon of butter or something is like 300 calories or something ridiculous. And so it's like you just got to be really conscious of what you're putting in your mouth, and it's just difficult though.
I find that
ladies.
just those are good words to live by anyhow, regardless of diet.
Right.
Except the ladies, of course. Yeah.
But my point is that the best way that I've learned is just not to go not to go grocery shopping. Just don't have nothing in the house. Sort of like what Cease was just talking about, except his is forced on him. Don't have any food in the house. If you have no food in the house, when you're sitting there bored, you're like, oh, I'm bored. Maybe I'll eat. You won't do that.
You're gonna go out and walk around and do something else.
You're at least going to get up, go to your car, and drive to the fast food place, and you'll get stuff that's portion controlled. That bullshit about, well, I make all my food from home. No, maybe if you're married and you got 12 kids, that all works out for you. But like if you're single, if you buy anything and you make a meal, now you've got enough food for like 8 grown men that you've got to eat by yourself.
And I'm way too lazy to dig out that Tupperware and put it any other way, so I might as well just finish it.
Right, you're going to end up eating all of it so you don't waste it.
The same thing that on weekends I would make for me and my daughters. When I make it during the week and it's just me, I still eat the whole thing.
Right. You get like a box of Hamburger Helper and you're like, I guess I'll eat the whole box. I mean, it's just, you're not going to waste it.
Yeah.
So it's almost better just to get fast food because at least it's portion controlled. And nowadays, McDonald's has made their food so unbelievably cheap with their dollar menu. I think it's more affordable. I mean, I just think it's like you can go buy stuff and it's like hot and fresh. I didn't have to fuck around and make it, and it's cheap as hell. You know, so it's like maybe I'm going to die because all I'm eating is like fried goat lip or something in a bun, but I don't care. So, and I work out like all the fucking time. I'm like completely dedicated to working out, and it doesn't help. It's all bullshit. You know what it does though? It makes me stronger. I can take.
It's also because they put like steroids in all the fucking meat.
I can take a flight of stairs, and I'm not tired and stuff like that. So I appreciate working out for what it is, but like it does not. It doesn't help you lose weight. It makes you more hungry, is what it does, dude.
You got to watch that working out videotape with Arnold and fucking what's his face.
What, for inspiration? Well, I'm not eating.
And they'll tell you, the only way you'll gain muscle mass is by working out till it hurts, and then you got to work out 4 hours more.
Yeah, I'm not eating the cummy looking fucking egg white omelet fucking nastiness and the
12 dozen eggs,
the plain chicken breast with the brown rice and the malted shake of shit. I've had the sports shakes; they're gross. It's like you're just like drinking vomit out of a cup. It's all bullshit. It's all bullshit. It doesn't help. It doesn't. You know what? Eating to lose weight doesn't work, okay? It's called not eating. Don't eat. Keep your mouth
I disagree
shut.
Because the one diet I was on where I lost a bunch of weight, admittedly I was also working out, it was one of those ones where you had to eat 6 times a day.
Yeah, but you can't maintain it. I mean,
yeah, you can. You absolutely can.
Nah, I've done that 6 meals a day bullshit where you work out and stuff and you lose some weight.
I was fine had I not wound up in the hospital with an exploded appendix.
But then you're like, you know what? I want pizza, and then you eat a whole pizza.
One day a week. I could eat whatever the hell I wanted.
You want to eat Burger King and shit.
And,
yeah,
every Saturday when I would show up at Kevin's house for game night, that was my off day for the week.
I understand
so I could
what you're
go
saying.
ahead and eat the one piece of pizza that Don left.
Once again, there we go. That's why I was so pissed off.
You have to be absolutely disciplined.
I'm this grumpy, sullen bastard.
No, I understand what you're saying. Those things do work, but you have to have like amazing self-control, which nobody has.
Eat 6 meals a day?
Yeah, it's 6 meals a day of selected stuff. You can't just go eat like 6 meals of McDonald's every day.
The Atkins thing.
You know what? A whole bunch of mine were Wendy's because I could eat the chicken.
Well, then why aren't you on that diet? Larry, why aren't you on that diet right now?
And count the French fries as a potato.
If that diet were, I want you to go on that diet. I want you to lose a bunch of weight. Go eat 6 meals a day at Wendy's, and I want to see what you look like at the end of it.
I want to. Whoever had Atkins, I want to know what they most desired when they were eating nothing but meat.
Pizza.
For me, it was fucking pancakes.
Yeah,
it felt like a fucking pregnant.
It was a goddamn bun for that burger.
All I wanted was a goddamn pancake with some syrup on it. It was like, God.
Yeah, because you get that scent in your nose, and you're like, I gotta have that.
So, have any of you guys thought about giving up meat?
No.
Anybody a vegan?
Thought about
here?
it, but it was a fleeting
Vegetarian.
moment.
I have cut back on how much I eat occasionally, but to be honest, dude, it's like, no. If there's not meat in my food, it's like, I have a bunch of friends of mine that are vegans, but they're like rabid vegans, except when it comes to me, they know better, because number one, I'll just mock them. Like, dude, shut up. You know? I don't need to fucking hear about how you don't want to fucking eat meat because you think it's cruel, okay?
If I go without it, I get pissed off more than usual. Let me put it that way.
Larry?
No, it's rare enough that I can afford meat. So when there's the opportunity to have some, I'm all about it.
Now, Brian, you don't drink milk?
Yeah, I kind of do when it comes to like my coffee and shit.
Oh, okay. So you haven't sworn off dairy. Have any of you guys ever sworn off dairy?
I've tried to because I've come to the conclusion that in my old age I've become lactose intolerant. Because although it never bothered me growing up, yeah, all of a sudden it was like I'd like drive home from work. I think I'm going to stop and get some Dairy Queen, and like an hour later I'd be shitting. I think I'm going to have some cereal for breakfast today. Hour later I'm shitting. So I tried swearing it off. But I mean, I don't care enough about it or myself. Every so often, it's like, you know what? I want that fucking, Dairy Queen Blizzard. I know I'm going to be shitting my fucking brains out in an hour, but you know what? It tastes really fucking good, and I want it.
So, what happened to Anderson? And
I don't know. They haven't texted me yet, so I don't know. Yeah. So,
eat the Magrupenwitz.
is there a food, Brian, that you don't eat? Like, I know there's things you won't eat because it's just... But, I mean, is there common foods that you, like, refuse to eat? Eggs?
No, I eat eggs. I get those... they're like those breakfast bowls with eggs, but they're, like, light
Chicken.
version. So, like, they're not as heavy on the potatoes and shit like that.
Bread? Wait, potatoes?
I don't think there's a food group or anything I spurn intentionally. I try not to eat anything that the common man would consider gross.
Beets. Come on, it's got to be something.
Rutabagas.
Beets. Come on, man. Everybody hates beets.
I'll eat beets. Yeah.
Brussels sprouts.
We come from a European mother, though. We were forced to eat all
You'll
kinds
eat
of...
fucking goat's liver and shit.
Yeah.
If we would. If you put it in front of us.
I mean, just present it to me in the right fashion, dude. I mean, I'm not gonna eat. I'm not Japanese. I won't eat like eyeballs and shit. That's fucking gross.
I might. I don't know.
No, I wouldn't. And then it's staring back at me, dude. That's out.
If I was hungry and shit, and there were like a bunch of people were sitting around popping them in their mouth and like, that's delicious. I'd be like,
Yeah, I might try one. I don't know.
Right.
It depends, yeah. Depends if they deep fried it or not. That's the way I look at it.
Larry?
For somebody as big as I am shockingly finicky with what I'll eat. There's very little that I will actually eat. I just eat it in large quantities. I truly, not even kidding, do not eat vegetables. I won't eat a salad because just the texture of like lettuce and cabbage just puts me off. There are actually a good deal of meats that I can't stand. I hate ribs. I hate all sorts of other popular foods. But on the other hand,
Eat ribs.
I hate ribs, but I'll eat calamari and escargot. But eggs, I grew up eating eggs. We would have, like, on weekends we would have omelets on, that was our big Saturday thing.
Omelet
First day of the weekend, we would have omelets. I ate them all the time as a kid. And then right around my late teens, all of a sudden, the taste of eggs made me sick. So I don't eat those anymore. So yeah, there's all sorts of shit I won't eat.
Cease?
Which is why it sucks when I have to eat pizza with too many weird toppings on it that I can't stand.
Like
You
eggs?
didn't have to eat it, did you?
I didn't know that pizza had eggs on it. Sorry.
Well, no, like I don't like sausage. I don't like mushrooms. I don't like fucking pineapple.
Now, why do you think you don't like sausage? What's with sausage?
I hate sausage myself.
I hate spicy foods, like hot, spicy foods.
Ah, okay. Interesting.
I like even with wings, I am an absolute pussy when it comes to hot stuff.
You don't like barbecue? What about barbecue?
It's not American. Come on.
Very mild barbecues. Like I'll get barbecue sauce with like my McDonald's chicken nuggets. But beyond that, I like weep and gnash teeth because I am. I'm a pussy when it comes to hot stuff.
Okay. Cease?
Wow. Pretty much anything like a hot dog. Like kibasi is the worst goddamn thing ever made. I might as well be chewing on a dead man's arm, man. It's just nasty.
So good.
Yeah, no
That
shit.
is so disgusting.
He just doesn't like the image of him sliding a sausage between his lips because he's a homophobe.
Oh my god, my dick's
Because
getting
I'm a
hard.
man. All right. Anyway,
But you'll eat kielbasa, but you won't eat sausage, Larry? What's up? They're like the same thing. They're just
I've
called
never
something
come
else.
across a hot, spicy kibasi.
Okay, so it's just spice. So if it was mild
yeah.
sausage, do you eat
yeah,
breakfast
but
sausage?
I can eat sausage more.
Yeah. Like sausage with breakfast, I'll eat.
Okay.
It's Italian sausage because it's too spicy.
Okay. So, Cease, you don't like hot dogs and things wrapped in
No,
the skin?
anything with that gut wrapping and that when you bite into it, it snaps like you're fucking chewing on a finger or something. Nasty. I don't know what
Well,
the
they're
hell.
not-
How about if it's covered with peanut butter? Because everything is good with peanut butter.
I don't know. It's the texture. It's like, I don't know. I got a wild imagination, so I'm like, imagine myself chewing on somebody's fucking gut and innards and shit. So it just doesn't work.
See, that would make me want to eat more.
spaghetti, the worm thing. It just doesn't work.
Or like when we were kids and stuff, I'd give him an orange to eat, and he'd tell me it was like eating a brain.
Yeah, like chewing on a brain. Exactly. I mean, I could drink orange juice till I'm blue in the face, but eating an orange, nah. It's like it's just I'm sorry.
All right. Do any of you guys actually allergic to any food?
Nope. At least I don't think so.
Pickles and cucumbers.
Really? Or are you kidding?
Oh my!
Huh?
All right.
Seriously?
Yeah. What happens if you eat one?
Gonna have that on a pizza.
Well, one of the Soprano brothers is always trying to tell me, whenever I'm over his place, dude, I got some pickles. Hospital's right down the road. I can totally call them and have you there before you die. If I eat cucumbers, I just get sick to my stomach. But pickles, I actually swell up and can't breathe and shit.
So it's like,
fuck is wrong with you?
What the hell? Like a vinegar thing?
See, I don't know. I have no idea.
It's just weird.
Well, cucumber and pickle is the same thing. Isn't it?
Amber Miller used to be allergic to cinnamon, and she would just turn red. Like her whole body would turn red.
Oh yeah.
But she'd just keep eating it. I'd be like, you want a piece of gum? She's like, it's cinnamon, but I'll take it anyway. And she'd eat it, and then she'd just turn red. I'm like, wow, that's weird.
Big red.
It's hardcore.
Basically, right. Okay, so let me think here. I had another question, and I kind of lost track of it. Did you guys have anything that you wanted to talk about yourselves about the topic at hand?
What, dieting and food and shit?
Yeah. Anything? Any stories or anything?
Can't think of any.
Can you? Okay.
What's the grossest restaurant or grossest shit place you ever ate? I don't know. Or we can
Probably Olive Garden.
Dude, Olive Garden is so good.
I know everybody's fucking like, oh, Olive Garden is great. Yeah. I'm like, dude, I used to work there, right?
I don't really care.
I saw how they cook the fucking food. No thanks.
I ate there twice with that. I had what the hell? Chicken parmesan, and both times the motherfucker wasn't cooked. I mean, I cut it open, it was like white around the edge and red in the middle. I was like, oh, and I had a chunk of it in my mouth. I'm like, I'm like, but since
Okay,
then,
you both lied. The Olive Garden is awesome.
No.
Yeah.
I just think Olive Garden is basically, there's just I know that I've never been in one, but I imagine that there's just a bunch of steam kettles in the back full of pasta, and then you make an order, and they just grab a ladle full of pasta, throw it in a bowl, and then there's pots of sauce, and they just throw the sauce on top, and then they charge you $12 for that. It just feels too assembly line to me.
Never been to one?
Oh, I've been to one. I've never seen it in the back, how they do it. It just seems like, they're just blanching pasta that's all boiled together. I don't know. It bums me out. It doesn't seem like they're actually cooking anything. It seems like they're just assembling my food and charging me $12 for it.
Well, that's basically. It's everything.
Yeah, what?
No, because somebody.
Sorry, not all of us dine at the Four Seasons, Kevin.
No, but when you get when you get something, there's somebody making it for you. But at that place, they're not making anything. They're just grabbing it and throwing it together. It's different. It's
what, you want them back there, fucking rolling out flour and making noodles by hand?
Yeah. Why not? Fuck them. All right. So
curling out the side of the noodle maker.
Brian, if your doctor told you that you had to eat a certain way in order to not have a heart attack, would you follow his advice?
I would have to ask him for how long.
Presumably for the rest of your life.
Yeah, well, I don't know. I mean, sometimes you're just no, once you get past this danger zone, you should be okay. But you'll have to eat you'll have to tone down certain kinds of food. I could live with that. Yeah, but if it's for the rest of your life, you will eat bland food, and it will be joyless experience. You won't. And I'm like, all right, I'll get back to you. Yeah, exactly.
Larry,
let me know.
I fully intend to be the guy laughing at the healthiest man in the world when he dies for no reason. I know my diet is unhealthy as hell.
Burns.
I know I'm going to. I know I drink too much. I know I eat too much. I know I do way too much shit, way too much, and I know it's going to kill me at a young age.
Somebody will.
But ultimately, if my options are eat the food that I like, drink the beer that I like, and die, or deny myself all the things that I like and have an extra 10 years of not having the things that I like, then I'd rather just go ahead and be done with it.
Yeah, but you're not going to kill yourself.
I'm not, but...
That would hurt.
Oh yeah. I am way too much of a pussy to actually commit suicide. I have tons of respect for people that can do that.
Tons of respect.
I do. That's fucking dedication and devotion right there.
Sir?
I can't do it. I've every time I've thought about it, I was like, no, I'm too much of a pussy, and I quit. And then I went and had a beer. But I mean, doing everything your doctor says.
That's a morals. I don't know.
doing everything the doctor tells me to do to extend my life gives me. I'm still going to die eventually, and this will just give me more years of not doing the things that I enjoy. So what's the point? It's not like I win a prize if I live the longest.
Cease?
You might.
I don't know. It depends. I mean,
Except
after,
to spend more time with Cindy Mac, so it would be worth it.
yeah. I mean,
It's funny,
Had to get that in there.
yeah, it depends. I mean, if my heart does I'm not going to work anymore. Yeah, it'd be like, okay, maybe I got to do something. But until then, not really.
Yeah, when my heart seizes up in my chest, I'm going to be thinking.
And they have to
be
bring
thinking,
a paddle.
Finally.
I won't be up going, ow, this hurts. Ow, ow, ow. Ow, stop. Ow, ow. I'll be good.
I'll be good. I'll do whatever they'd say. I don't care. I mean, if the doctor looked at me today and he was like, nothing ever again, just grass, I'd be like, all right.
Yeah, right.
I would, because fuck it.
You say that
Time
now.
looks painful.
3 months later, you'd be like, fuck this.
Why? Because you want to have another 20 years of eating grass?
See, here's the
Because
see,
like
here's
another
the
year
thing.
or so, they might come up with a cure, and they're like, dude, go ahead and eat all you want.
My
And
attitude,
suicide fuckers would be laying on the ground. We'd be like,
my attitude is different.
Would they kill themselves?
It's similar but different. My attitude is that I hate everything, and I think everything's out to get me anyway. So fuck.
Wait a minute, that's my look.
So fuck all the food,
Done.
because the food's just fucking with me. And if the doctor says you just eat grass, then fuck the food. I hate the food.
fuck food.
I mean
You
that's
sound like that vampire movie now.
I mean that's just how it is. I mean that's how I am in life in general. Like I think that a lot of things are just out to completely do me in, and so
Well, they are.
I just feel
It
as though
is.
I'm I just follow his instructions because I'm angry at the food. I'm angry at food today. I feel like it's
But
bullshit.
I was saying they put steroids in the meat and shit, dude, to mass produce that stuff, and don't think that stuff doesn't stay in there.
Well, I know, but it's not just that.
Well, then I should have
Coming in,
muscles
right.
from the
yeah, it's not
steroids
that
and the
kind of
meat.
steroid.
It's
You'd have muscles if you worked out.
Oh, damn.
You don't do that, so
it's
I like
just
to
that
play
the
in my
food,
chicken boobies.
my brain and my body and the food. I don't. Okay, listen. When I was in my 20s and I would get a pizza and I would like a medium pizza and I'd eat the whole thing myself, I felt fine afterwards. Okay, but I'm telling you, I'm getting older because nowadays, if I do that, at the end of the meal,
your chest starts to hurt.
I don't feel good, and I don't mean I don't feel like it's like a mental thing. Like I shouldn't have eaten the whole pizza. I mean I literally don't feel good, and I think to myself, I'm gonna fucking die of some fucking just bullshit. And I don't get mad at health reasons. I get mad at the food because the food tempts me. The food's like, you want to eat me. And I do. I want to eat it. It's delicious. But then I eat it, and then at the end of the meal, I still feel like shit. So I feel like I'm not winning either way. But listen, that's not to say that if you were like, well, here, eat some grass and some leaves and shit, and we're going to mix that together, that's going to make me feel any better, because it doesn't. I've tried eating all that fucking bullshit, and it doesn't work. You get hungry in 3 minutes. You're like, I ate the lawn. What else do you have? What else you got in this house? You just start tearing shit apart. You have 4 bowls of cereal. You're like, all right, now I'm satisfied. But it's just food is bullshit. It just fucks
Food is
with
the
me.
devil.
I wish there was just something that
A pill.
I don't know, like a button or something that could tell what my body needed and just told me what I should eat. Because I can't trust my own brain. My brain is constantly lying to me. My brain is constantly like, go eat the cupcake. Fuck it. Go eat it. Just go eat the cupcake.
Yeah, you'll be fine.
And it's
You'll be good. You know you're going to do it anyway. Why fight?
Yeah. I know you've had 3
look
today.
at you. What do you think you're going to be? You're old now. You're going to be a model. You're going to be a movie star. Come on, just eat it.
Just
eat it.
You've already
It'll
had
be
3.
good.
There's
It'll be
one
good.
left in the
Tasty. Come
pack.
on.
You can't just leave one in there. It's going to go bad.
You had
It's
a
gonna
bad
dry
day
out.
today. You deserve a fucking.
Just have the last cupcake. It doesn't matter. Dip it in milk. No, and and then you have it, and then you're just like,
No.
you tell yourself, well, I'm not going to buy any more of those. And then next
What's
time you're at the
honey on
grocery
it?
store, you get 2 packs.
You know, that Hostess cupcake might be better if you put honey on it. Go ahead.
Yeah, your brain is fucking with. My brain is constantly fucking with me. So
Kevin, it wouldn't take you very long to fry up that cupcake.
I just want
Deep fry it in like 4 minutes.
I don't trust my brain's ability to tell me when I'm hungry, so I wish there was a system that could just like tell me like my blood sugar and be like, all right, you seriously need to eat something right now, because I actually do have the willpower to not eat.
Dude, you wouldn't, though. You wouldn't. You'd be like, fuck you.
No, I have, because I've done it before. I've lost like a shitload of weight because I can like completely not eat because I get that angry at food. I'm just like, I'm not eating. Fuck you. And I can do it. I can do it for months. But the thing is that, like I said before, with my hair falling out and stuff, there's some nutritional
toenails dragging
right.
across.
There's some nutritional range there that has to be met. I have to do something in order to do it, and I'm not doing Larry's 6 meals a day, and I'm not doing the weightlifting, the casein protein shit and the fucking chicken breast. I'm not doing it. I want to eat a Krispy Kreme donut once in a while, but I'm not eating the whole box anymore. I don't know. That's just me. Hold on, I got Anderson here, so I'm gonna try calling his phone.
I want to hear Jason's version of this. I don't know. Fuck it.
Dude's been skinny his whole life because he can never afford anything. He's never been fat.
That's what I'm saying. I won't sing it this time.
I don't even know if this is his number.
Hello?
Hello?
Mr. Anderson, you've been a little late on your telephone bill.
Yeah. I'd believe that if it was before 9.
So we're
and if I
talking.
didn't pay for it.
So-
And if I didn't have to pay for it, I don't pay for it, so.
So we're talking about diet, Anderson. Have you ever been on a diet?
Nope. Well, yeah, I guess so. When I got married, she tried to make me eat salads and stuff.
And how'd that go?
But that didn't go. I went about for 2 days. And,
But that's okay.
it was like, it wasn't a good time. It wasn't a good experience. She was like, here, I bought a bag of spinach. Or was it spinach? Yeah, spinach. And make a spinach salad. Here's some iceberg lettuce. If you can make an iceberg salad. And I said, what can I put in this salad? She says you can put tomatoes. Don't like them.
Put your
You
fork in
carrots,
and eat
don't
it.
like them. You can put, cheddar cheese. Don't like it. You can put,
Don't you know you
feta
only eat 2
cheese.
types of food?
Right. No, that's obviously she didn't know. Yeah, it wasn't a great time. It wasn't a great experience for me. But I tried it. I said, you know what? Honey? You are my wife, and we are a team. And if only I had a crystal ball, I would have told her to take her salads and shove them up her ass. I'm in a fall mood, by the way.
Oh, really? Okay.
Awesome.
Good.
Because the Browns lost?
I didn't. You know what? Don't even care. I knew they were going to lose
care.
anyway.
Come
They
on, we
suck.
all care.
They suck.
Okay.
And my cable got shut off, so I can't watch it anyways.
Oh, good thing.
Okay, so let's go around
Yeah, we
here
go.
then. Brian,
Yes.
now you were talking about the steroids in the meat.
Yes.
What is your feeling on all the the organic versus the regular food thing? Are you concerned about the the artificial shit in food?
No, not really. I like if it's obviously better if you get your food out of a garden. If you're going to have like vegetables as like part of your fucking meal and shit, we all know that tastes better. Okay, anything that's fresh is better as opposed to like the shit you buy in the store with all the preservatives and all that stuff. All right, but who am I going to try to fucking fool and say, well, I won't eat that because it's fucking not organic? Come on, we all know you put anything fucking in front of me and you're like, it's gone. I mean, like I said, unless it's staring back at me, that shit ain't going in my, then it's just going to get devoured, dude.
Right.
It has no chance.
Anderson, what about you, man?
Anderson, what about me? About the you know what? I don't know if you guys ever watched Penn and Teller's bullshit, but they did an episode on organic foods, and how much of a scam it really is. Because I can't remember now because I'm fucking stupid. But basically by the end of the show, they just proved that organic foods are just complete bullshit because you don't have as many chemicals in them and stuff like that. But when they broke them down and showed all the different content,
But there's bugs.
Yeah.
It's all the same. Yeah, there's more bugs in the organic food because they don't put
There's
pesticides on it.
no steroids, but it's infested with boll weevils.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Mexican farmers who shouldn't, like, out there in the fields.
I honestly don't
Which we
care.
all know is healthy.
I see stuff, and when I see something that's labeled as organic, I skip it because I know it's going to be like an extra $1, and I'm already living on the limits.
So, Anderson, when you were growing up, between like age 0 to 12,
0 to 12.
did you? What was your What was your family
Rice milk.
eating like? Did you eat around the table?
No, we would eat around the TV.
Did your
and that
mom
just
cook
depended
and
on-
everything?
My mom would cook, but she would always cook stuff that can sit. That way, whoever could come in, whoever comes in would be like, "Oh,
Sit,
you're
Rupert,
sitting
sit."
on the stove." Like, okay, cool. As opposed to, okay, everybody be home at this time. We're all eating. I think we did that like once, and we all ended up arguing about where we were sitting. So they were just like, screw it. My dad would always be like, screw it. Put the kids at the table, and he would go sit at the TV.
Did you
And then,
Did you ever get fast food?
Sometimes, yeah. I would usually get, like, you mean family-wise?
Yeah, right. Family wise, right? Not you.
Yeah.
I mean, you were 12.
Once in a while,
What are you walking up to Burger King by yourself, or what's going on?
What's that?
I said I'm talking like between 0 and 12. So you weren't walking up to Burger King by yourself or anything.
Right. No, well, I mean, sometimes my parents would just take me
Oh, I see what you're
if I
saying.
did something good, you know what I mean? But, like, family, we'd get a
Don't
pizza
lie.
every so often, or we'd order out and get McDonald's or
So would you say you
whatever.
ate healthy as a kid?
no.
No.
No, because in my house, my mom was a coupon collector, a rebate person, one of those coupon ladies. So when you go to the grocery store, you'd be like,
Coupon.
"Mom, I want this," and she wouldn't say, "No, you can't have that. It's bad for you." She would either
I don't have a
say,
coupon.
"Okay, I have a 50-cent coupon for that. Go ahead," or "Sorry, I don't have a coupon. You can't get it." So it wasn't a matter of what it was or what the nutritional value of it was. It was just more of the monetary. Can I save money by buying that? Let's do it. That's why I drank a lot of Diet Right, and I ate a lot of Rice Krispies when I was a kid.
Would you consider yourself? How would you consider yourself physically when you were a kid? Fat, thin, wafy.
The same way I am.
Church origin.
The same way. What?
Same way I am now. The same way I am now.
Campbell Soup Kid.
Awful.
Awful.
I was awful.
All right, Larry. Larry, concerns about
No.
chemicals in
no.
your food or anything?
Yeah, I mean, first of all, as far as I know, there are very few organic bacon cheeseburgers out there for me to have, and I don't think McDonald's has them.
The Angus.
People rip on that Angus. I love the hell out of that Angus burger, but
On Mickey D's.
yeah.
Yeah, I get the mushroom one every so often. It's
Yeah,
not bad. But you know you're eating
that
it. You're like,
bacon
oh.
Angus burger. That's good as hell. Were I in a position where I could actually spend the 5 times as much for organic food? No, I just don't care. And I agree that it's a complete ripoff.
Okay.
Right.
Cease?
Actually, go for the preservatives because as more that I eat, then I don't have to get embalmed, and I'll be stuck around for like 10,000 years after I'm buried. So that'd be good.
So you don't care either, like you're saying.
No,
Fuck it.
Brian, is there any health food that you like to eat? Do you like to eat salads? Do you like to eat
Actually, I am a salad kind of guy. I do like eating salads. I do like
bean patty? Do you like any of that?
There's some
Tofu.
types of food that I just don't do. like the fake hamburgers that like Wendy's or not Wendy's, but Burger King has and all that kind of bullshit, dude. That's out. That's not gonna fucking happen. I can't eat that crap. I'll fucking throw up. But pretty much anything else is up for grabs, man. I'm easy.
Do you eat fish?
Yes.
You like it?
What about turkey burgers?
Do you eat a turkey burger?
No, anything that's like fake meat
Fake turkey
product
burgers.
like that. Any type of fake meat product, I'm just like, no, I'm out.
Turkey.
Oh, dude, that turkey meat is actually like really good. That's what
Turkey meat's real.
I suppose that's the closest I'll come to eating healthy. Is I will use like
at my breakfast bowl, it says it's turkey, but it's not trying to act like. But it tastes like beef. It's like no, it tastes like turkey meat.
Yeah,
That's
like
what
the
it is.
turkey bacon shit. I mean, it's not bad, but it ain't no fucking bacon. I'll tell you that.
Anderson, do you
What?
enjoy any kind of health food like salads or turkey burgers or anything?
No, I hate it all because that's what she used to do. She made us eat like turkey bacon. She used to make homemade turkey burgers, turkey meatballs, salad, and it was just like, you know what? Ugh,
Gobble gobble.
horrible.
Your wife did?
Right? Yeah.
Oh.
If I want to eat turkey, I'd eat turkey.
And yes,
I wanna
so
eat-
sleepy.
So did your
I want
when you were a teenager,
balls.
like 12 to 19, did your dietary habits change at all?
Yeah, I started eating more fast food
Yeah.
because I got free. I was free from my parents. I was like, I got $5. Let's go to McDonald's. I ate what at one summer. McDonald's had 2 chicken sandwiches for $1 or $2 or something like that. Like whatever, back in the early '90s. I went to McDonald's twice a day for like a month and ate chicken sandwiches because it was cheap and you get a lot of them. And to this day, I have not had one because it just supersized me. It was just like I was like, oh, I can't eat it anymore. Like a giant chicken nugget on a bun.
What was that, speaking of that, what was that KFC we used to stop off and get those little chicken sandwiches? Remember that?
Snackers,
The
man.
chicken,
Oh, yeah,
snacker
yeah.
or something like that.
I don't remember.
Snacker.
And I go in and I'd be like, give me the chicken snacker plain. And then like mayonnaise or lettuce.
It had like,
Lettuce is a salad.
It's like the White Castle version of the fucking chicken sandwich.
yeah, it's kind of like that. It had like one pickle on it or something weird. I remember getting it with Anderson or something. And I was like, oh, they were
Yeah.
super cheap at one point. Yeah.
I don't
Okay.
remember
Like
that place at
$1
all.
for 2 of them or something. KFC?
Weird. No, I thought you said something else. I'm sorry. We eat KFC still to this day, but I always get heartburn from that shit.
I kind of went downhill with my diet eating when I started hanging out with Anderson, and we started getting the 2
That'll
meatball
happen.
submarines or the 2 meatball sandwiches at Little
Oh,
Caesars
God, yeah.
for
Two for
$1.89.
Tuesday. For $1.89.
It was such a good deal. You would get like 2 giant fucking meatball subs for like less than $2, and we'd do it like all the time. And sometimes we'd get them even when it wasn't fucking Tuesday because they were so good. And then, I don't know, Little Caesars went out of business or something. Then they came back.
They stopped.
Yeah.
They stopped
Yeah,
selling
now
first,
you
and
can
then-
go there and get a large pizza for $5.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Maybe I'll do that. That'll fuck me up next.
We used to do that all the time too. Rob Wooten.
It's a pizza.
So, Larry, do you like any healthy food?
Rice cakes are very tasty. They have a bad name.
The flavor, if the flavored ones aren't too bad.
Yeah, you gotta get like
What
the
is it?
corn something.
Rice
Rice
cakes.
cakes.
They're decent snackers if if you're trying to fool yourself and tell yourself you're on a diet.
I can't. I don't really like. I think they're too dry. I think that's the problem. I don't know. It just dries
Yeah.
out my mouth. That's the problem.
Really, are they healthy or are they just nothing?
A little bit of
I
both.
wouldn't consider it healthy.
They
It's
are
just-
pretty much air, dude.
Yeah, it's just
Yeah,
nothing.
I mean, they're a healthy snack in that they'll fill you up and they won't
Fill you up. I gotta eat the whole
They're made
bag.
out of 90% air, so there's like no like calories or fat or anything else.
You can fucking insulate your walls with that shit.
But and I guess I sort of consider it a health food because I'll sit there and eat a couple rice cakes, and because they're not super duper great, but they're edible, I'll like have a couple and I'm done. Whereas without them, I'll sit there with like the big ass bag of like Cool Ranch Doritos and eat that.
True.
So if those are my options, then yeah, that makes the rice cakes a health food.
Or you eat both. You eat all the rice cakes, and then you move to the Doritos.
Yeah.
I eat 2 or 3
Sprinkle
rice
like-
cakes, and I'm like, those don't really hit the spot. Honey, do we have any Cool Ranch Doritos or some Munchos or Funyuns or something?
Pouring honey on it, you're like, these Rice Krispies are really healthy.
Have you ever done that? Have you ever done that though, where you're like, I'm not going to order the pizza. I'm not going to order pizza. I'm going to eat something around the house. So you make something and you eat it, and then you're like, I'm going to order pizza.
Yeah. Either that, either you make something and you're like, see that pizza does still sound good, or you make something around the house and you're like, the pizza would have filled me up. No, I'm not going to order the pizza. So then you make something else around the house and you wind up eating like 7 different meals just so you don't order the pizza.
When you're married and it's like you ate something and then like your wife is like, hey, I'm stepping off for grab something. You want me to grab some like food? And you're like,
yes.
Right.
You're hating yourself. You're just like, I fucking suck.
The worst is when they set you up. They like call. They're like, call. Did you eat already? Yeah. No. Why? Well, because I was going to stop and get
absolutely
whatever.
What do you want from yes?
Something, yeah. Oh yeah. I'll have some too.
Yep, all the time. Right, exactly.
And you're fucking just like, you're eating it and it's like, yum, yum. You're like, I hate myself. I'm fat. Yum, yum. I'm going to go on a diet. Yum, yum.
Yeah.
You stop off and get some, and then you come home and there's pizza waiting.
She'd be like, did you eat already? And I'd be like, yeah. And she's like, oh, well, I'm going to Chipotle. And I'd be like, oh, well, give me a burrito. And she's like, already ate. You don't need anything else to eat. You already ate. Shit.
You knew she's right, but you're like, no, that's not cool.
Fuck you.
Well, I can heat it up later.
Yeah.
Then
which never happens. As soon as she walks in the door, you're like, give it to me.
Then you get smart on them, because when they start asking if you ate something, you start drooling like a dog. Oh, no, I didn't have anything to eat. You got something in your hand while you're talking on the phone.
Yeah, you got shit in your teeth.
Like, I'm not eating, wrapping it back up.
That's the truly bad one, when you don't want to order the pizza. You're like hungry as hell when you're cooking. So on those rare occasions when I actually cook something, I'll like bust out some pots. I'll start boiling some water. It's like, I'm fucking hungry. So I'll sit there and snack while I'm cooking dinner.
Do you get to that point?
Ready.
Do you get to that point?
I'll make a sandwich while I'm waiting for the water to boil.
Do you get to that point though where you eat something, like you eat like a whole pizza or whatever, and then like about 30 minutes later you're eating ice cream and you're like, what's wrong with me?
Yeah.
I just ate. I can't possibly be hungry. This is just, I'm just bored. I'm not going to eat.
The worst is like
you are.
Like I do not have problems with my appetite at all, but I'll eat regardless of whether or not I'm actually hungry. I'll eat just because I'm not doing anything else. And there are times I'll eat till I'm fucking stuffed. I'm like, oh my God, I can't eat another bite. And then 10 minutes later, I'm still stuffed, but I want something in my mouth. What can I snack on? Are there any chips? And I'll be sitting there eating with a stomach ache, like I'm fucking
you're
stupid.
You're going to explode any fucking second. You're like, I got to eat.
Why am I doing this?
That was me Saturday. Did that Saturday, and then I went to that fucking all-you-can-eat fucking Chinese food place. I'm like, Jesus Christ, I got to have a little bit more of this rice. It ain't bad for you. Hey, bad.
This is
I'm like shoving it down with the spoon.
Lying to yourself about like eating the food that you know is fucking fattening as shit.
Yeah.
But you're like, no, but this food is good for you.
Rice is good.
I'm going to eat a fucking enough to make a whole fucking blink.
Rice is good for you. You're probably not supposed to eat 4 pounds of it, but it's good for you.
There's vegetables in salsa.
Yeah.
That's true. There's vegetables and pizza too.
So, Cease, do you like any health food?
Health food? I guess the only thing healthy, I don't mind salad, and I like grilled chicken a lot, but obviously I can't do that here. I'm in a fucking apartment, so it kind of kills that. But I think that'd be I like hang outside and hold a hibachi with one hand, it's just not going to work. But I think that'd be the extent of it. I mean, I'm not like obviously I'm not a health nut, so
I'll eat any of that. Like, I'll eat the fake burgers, the vegetable burgers, the turkey burgers. I'll eat the fucking fake hot dogs or whatever. I'm just not really big into salads. I just feel like salads are like they're fake or something. Like you eat them because they're supposed to replace a meal or something, but they don't fill you up. It's like you could just eat like a salad and eat it, and it's you have this feeling of being full, but you're not satisfied at all. You're just like, you're just waiting for it to move on or something so you can shove something delicious in your mouth instead. Because A salad is not. Or it's one of those fake salads where it's like it's got like 5 like pieces of lettuce on it, and then there's just like a giant chunk of like chicken or chicken salad or whatever, chili, whatever's on there. You know,
Bob Evans has this salad that Cindy freaking loves, and she's like, "Oh my god, this is so good!" And like one day, just because I'm cruel, I looked up the nutritional information on the salad, and it was like way worse than like my McDonald's double cheeseburgers and stuff. So, needless to say, she then became despondent and hasn't eaten them since. But it's like, really, a fucking salad? I was like,
that was on the news. Yeah,
I was like, guess what the fat is? What's that?
The cranberry pecan chicken salad.
Yup. She was all about that thing until I showed her that she was better off having, 2 double cheeseburgers at McDonald's, and then she was all sad. And
that's because of the protein. That's what I try. That's where I was going from in the beginning. The meat items actually are better for you in a lot of cases because of the damn protein, because it doesn't weigh in on the calorie count.
Well, this salad was also covered with cranberries and cheese and.
Oh, I know. Yes, the cheeseburger's not going to hold up against a normal salad. I know what you're saying. I know, but I'm just Anyway,
to me, eating a salad is like getting stuck out in the middle of a wilderness somewhere, and you can't find a fucking rodent to eat, so you got to eat the fucking grass and trees around you. That's what a salad reminds me of. But so I got to like douse it and everything. Yeah, it's a fucking rabbit food. It just doesn't. There's no.
I always put like tons of dressing on mine and like fucking, cheese, and it's like more of a meal than anything else.
Right. That's what. I worked out with Kevin Rahm at 3 a.m, like I was talking about before to Anderson, and he was talking to me. He goes, I'd like to eat healthy, dude, but like, I want to eat tuna because tuna's good, but then I drown it in mayonnaise. Yeah, it's true. It's like flavorless crap. You just can't fucking handle it. All right, so if you're a young dude and you're thin and you're laughing at us because you think I'm never going to be that way, you will.
Yeah.
I'm still
the whole stay healthy thing does not last forever.
Unless you're one of those freaks that ride bikes around all the time.
Or you got one of them fucking Iggy Pop type physiques where you look like a fucking walking corpse.
If you do heroin, you're in good
shape. If you're in heroin, you're all right.
But it will happen to you. So that's basically going to wrap up Midwest Wasteland this week. In 2 weeks, we're going to discuss children. Because all of the hosts have kids except yours truly, but that's okay. We did marriage before, and all of the hosts were married except yours truly. And 2 weeks after that, we will be doing it on hauntings, which will be our annual Halloween Midwest Wasteland. So that's the good Sunday for that in October. So
happy Halloween, Halloween.
So you'll want to come up with all your haunted house expeditions and. Like Anderson kind of gave me the idea when he was talking with Kevin Rahm about, what was that, the Porter House or something? And, Gore Orphanage and all that good stuff. The fake and the real. Grave. Yeah, the Witch's Ball, the Witch's Grave, all that crap. So we're going to be talking about that in 4 weeks. But in 2 weeks, we're going to be talking about children. So, same time, same place.
Much scarier.
If you're listening live, we'll follow up with Cleveland Sports Radio at 10:05 p.m. So, in the meantime, Don and Don have 15 minutes to entertain you all.
15 minutes? What are we going to do in 15 minutes?
And if you want more information about this show, because you have no idea how you found it on Shoutcast, you can go to www.videogamenews.com and talk to people in the forums, and you'll figure it out. All right, that's it. Good night.
Figure it out.
And thanks for listening.
Grease for peace.
Peace.